So today we're working on an Insignia dryer. We've got a different gas valve for it. I did not actually condemn the gas valve for it, but from what I understand, everything else has been checked and was working fine. So here's that little gas valve that we're going to be changing out. The change out procedure is actually pretty straightforward on this, and I'll just kind of show you as we go along. But the gas comes into the valve here and then is blown through a burner. Right here there's a little brass orifice, and the flame is pushed up into that tube. Right there is the hot surface igniter. You got to be very careful around the hot surface igniters because they're extremely fragile, so just kind of watch out for that. So we'll just shut the gas off right there, and the way this is set up, you have to take off a couple screws on the back there and then open it up on the top. These little cutouts have to slide off of that screw in order to remove the top, and then there's a couple screws, one there to get that off, and then that has to lift up off of these little plastic brackets. You can see it got kind of damaged when it was taken apart. Like I said, I didn't take it apart, someone else did, but as far as I can tell, that's all you have to do to actually get it apart. Up here on the valve itself, there are 3 Phillips screws that hold the gas valve in, so we're just going to buzz those 3 out. And then if your gas line is flexible enough, you can just kind of tip this way and pull it out a little bit and thread the valve off. If you can't, then you'll have to disconnect it from the gas line over there, but I think that's the only support for this whole piece of pipe is the valve itself right on this end. A stubby screwdriver or one of these angle attachments is super handy for removing the screws. Then in order to get it out, you have to kind of flex the plate it's mounted to down right here and down right here in order to get this to slide off. As you can see, when it's dropped in fully, this will be down into this piece here, and on the back you can see it's catching right there, so we just got to push this down while simultaneously wiggling it out, which I'll have to do with 2 hands here, but I think you understand what I mean. And just like that, it has popped out, so you can see how that drops in there. Now we're going to go ahead and unplug it right now. 3-pin connector there, and a 2-pin connector there. And now we need to just spin the gas valve off of this pipe right here. For that, I'll just use a channel lock and a crescent wrench. You can hold the pipe on the bottom with the channel lock and get on that flat to bust it free. And it's actually pretty much spun free already, so I can pretty much do it by hand now. Get your old one out. You can just compare it to the new one. And it looks like this one does have the propane jet, and this one still has the natural gas jet. So make sure that you switch it for your appropriate gas type. And it can also appear that this one has a different style depressor there, so I'm going to have to convert this natural gas valve to propane because we are using propane here. So if you're using propane and you get a natural gas valve, which is evidently what we've been sent, then you'll just have to switch those components over. So I got the natural gas one moved over to the new valve, and you can see this is what the natural gas cap looks like for the spring, and this is what the LP one looks like. It has this depressor that runs down past the adjustment screw and acts directly on that diaphragm in there, so it's kind of interesting. So as an added benefit, now you kind of know how to convert it to LP. And we'll just tighten that on there a little bit, and I've already gotten this tightened on. So now we'll put some pipe dope on those threads and we'll thread this on. So I'm just using some pipe thread sealant. I'll link in the description to some similar types of pipe thread sealant, but you just spread that on the threads and then run it down. And of course you'll want to check this for leaks with some soapy water when you're done to make sure that nothing is leaking. So I did notice too, it says to not grip on the solenoid portions, which makes a lot of sense. These have to lift little pins that actually open and close the gas valve, so if you tweak this a little bit, then it will not work. So I'm going to tighten it on there carefully and get it dropped back in place, and then we'll test it. And to get that to drop back on there nicely, you have to get this outer ring of the burner to go over the casting of the valve. So just kind of squeeze right here as you're pushing the valve forward, and that'll drop it on and lock it in place like this. And now we can go ahead and reinstall our screws. So I would not recommend doing this, but I'm doing that so that I can actually see if it lights. So you're running here. Igniter's on. Oh, we forgot to plug it in. Silly me. Also, you do have to block off this doorway in order to run it. See how the burner is pulling straight in? I'm gonna pull this pillow off and you'll see it'll mess up the airflow and the flame will get all lazy like that. See how the flame is rolling back out of the burner? That's because the way these are designed, they blow the flame in on the inlet side, suck it through all the clothes, and then exhaust it out that way. So looks like we are going to be good to go on this one. And that valve is going to take care of the problem. So wow, completely dry.